Sam Gibson, coming out of East-West Martial Arts, Somerset, Kentucky. 19 years old, makes his amateur MMA debut here at Hardrock MMA 99. And Jeff Turner, East-West Martial Arts down there. Sam Gibson says he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, and he's been training for about 5 years. So pretty experienced guy making his amateur MMA debut. Thinks and knows he's the smaller guy in this fight. Says my opponent has a longer reach. He's from a better known gym, and I think he's going to underestimate me. I know a lot of fighters thrive off of that underdog status, and sometimes even if you're not the underdog, you put yourself to be the underdog, and I think a lot of fighters that helps them.
I have heard some very interesting rationales for that edge that you're describing. A fighter will say, you know, so-and-so, my opponent he thinks this, and you can tell that really upset him. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, man, you know, that works though. You're right. You don't want to go in there and fight your best friend, do you?
Never. Zakariah Camara, also 19 years old, also making his amateur MMA debut, representing out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Vision MMA. See Jeremy Pinder in his corner. Your first fight, 19 years old, that's a good guy to have in your corner. Veteran over 20 pro fights himself. He is 5 feet, 11 inches tall, 140 pounds. Vision MMA, you know that they're not going to put you in there until you're ready. So coming out of a gym like that, one of the best in not only in Cincinnati, but one of the best in Ohio, and really one of the better in the Midwest. Camara in the cage. Jason Weinel going to have the official introductions.
I would like clarification on it.
That's right, yes.
140-pound catchweight bout here at Hardrock MMA 99. Sam Gibson in the black and white. Zakariah Camara in the camo. Rob Mooney is the referee for this one. Interesting to see Gibson coming in. He's going to wear the rash guard.
Yeah, and you do hear the corner of Camara instructing him. If you need to, you can grab the rash guard. You can pull it over his head, he said.
Not legal in jiu-jitsu, but that is legal in MMA. Camara, the southpaw here, comes out. Lands a nice leg kick and another body kick there.
Hey, throw that kick, left.
Gibson, the jiu-jitsu background, but both of these guys coming out swinging.
Wow, Gibson, they are.
Underhook.
Saw Gibson duck under.
There you go.
Now with the body clinch here up against the cage. Looking to try to work the takedown. Nice knee to the body there from Camara.
There you go.
And another one.
Circle off. There we go.
Neither of these fighters appear to be strangers to the clinch.
Yeah, Gibson, excuse me, threw a big punch there. Camara with a head kick. Both guys pretty loose here. You see a little bit of another head kick there. Gibson just barely blocked that.
Camara with some very impressive kicks.
Opening up, I mean, for a 5'11" guy being 140 pounds, he's got a very, very long reach. Camara now, the clinch up against the cage, his corner telling him to get out of there. Nice knees there from Camara. Those are going to start to take the toll later on in the fight. Nice jab there from Camara.
These are two very game fighters.
Yeah, I mean, they're both coming out of good gyms. You see Gibson with the killer bees. in his corner. Camara representing Vision MMA. Like Camara leading with the straight left hand. Knee to the body in the tie clinch. Gibson trying to drag Camara to the ground here.
Does Gibson want it on the ground?
I think he does at this point.
Sounds like Camara's corner wants him to keep it standing.
Nice right hand there. Camara throws a beautiful kick. Now Gibson just swinging wildly. You see him with the shorter reach. He's got to be able to get inside of Camara and not able to do that. You see Camara really doing a good job staying at range here.
Gibson not keeping his hands as high as you would like, but he did shoot
nice
in.
Nice hip toss there.
Okay, Camara with a nice response.
Now in the guard here. You see that right butterfly from Gibson. Camara's corner telling him to stand up. I don't think they want him on the ground, but he's doing a good job here. Some nice ground and pound. You see some blood on the forehead of Gibson.
Gibson is hanging in there to the very end.
Nice hammer fist there from Camara. You just see the comfort in the striking of Camara.
It's a laser kick that Camara has.
Definitely has some kickboxing background here from Camara. His right hand there. Spinning wheel kick.
All this technique and athleticism from Camara, and Gibson is not giving up by any stretch.
My favorite thing about the striking of Camara is he's a southpaw and he's leading with that straight left hand and landing it every single time. I want to see him throw that straight left hand. The biggest issue is he's throwing the straight left hand and leaving it out there and just kind of looking at his work, and it's landing every time, but he's got to be able to follow up with that right hook. That 2-3, that's a knockout combination for a lot of guys. Doing a good job of landing that, but he needs to follow up. It's the biggest thing for a lot of young guys, is, especially in the striking realm, is yeah, you can throw one punch and it can land, but you're very rarely going to knock a guy out or finish him with one punch. You got to throw combinations, especially as a young guy. That's one of the biggest things that I know a lot of coaches will try to teach, is throw more than one punch at a time. Good first round there, though, for Camara. Definitely think he took that.
Certainly, Camara won the first round. Gibson is, let's be honest, fortunate to have survived the first round.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for Gibson, I think, is he probably wants this fight on the ground, but you saw him get that throw and end up on his back, and then Camara, some nice ground and pound there towards the end of the first round.
We did hear Camara's corner instructing him to keep it standing at all costs. Now, is that reflective of a reach advantage and them knowing he has the kickboxing and the striking advantage against his opponent, or are they trying to avoid him going to the ground?
I think a little bit of both. They see, hey, we got a young guy. We want him to be in the best position to possibly win. I think they saw that he has a striking advantage. They also see that his opponent is wearing a rash guard, so you think he's going to probably be a good grappler.
That's a great point. That's a great point, David.
But, if you have the advantage standing, why not keep it standing? Might be a little bit more green on the ground, but saw him when he did get to the ground. He looked pretty good. There's some nice ground and pound. Camara doing a good job. Another head kick there.
Those head kicks look like if they connect, it's in trouble.
And he's throwing that kick from his front leg, his lead leg.
Look at the size of Camara. I mean, he has a substantial reach and the technique to go with it.
Doing a good job here, stepping off, not staying in front of his opponent, good head movement, doing all the things that you want a young striker, young fighter to do. You don't want to be getting hit, especially as a 19-year-old.
Gibson wants this to go to the ground.
Has that body lock here, looking to try to drag him to the ground. Going to be tough with a guy that's taller than him and who has a good base like Camara. You see Camara with that whizzer there on the left arm of Sam Gibson. That's what's keeping him on the feet. I say this every event I do. As soon as strikers learn that they use that whizzer and it'll keep them on their feet, that changes the whole game of striker versus grappler. Some nice punches there.
Certainly appears to be working right now.
See Camara still digging that whizzer with his right arm on the left arm of Gibson, and that's the thing that's keeping him on his feet here right now. And he digs that underhook on the left side. Good job listening to his corner and then disengages. Camara with his hands down here. You see him loading up that head kick again, trying to throw a switch kick.
Gibson's stance and his hands being lower tells me he's trying to do one thing, and that's shoot.
Couple of jabs. What he needs to do is he needs to get under one of these punches here, change levels on Camara, and drive in on his hips. He's doing some things now, though. You see he's getting tired. He's crossing his feet.
Gibson's corner is telling him to throw straight punches. He didn't like the wild haymaker.
Yeah, Gibson definitely tired. You see Camara just kind of on the outside now, picking his shots, avoiding the punches here of Gibson. Camara, very, very pretty polished striker here for a young guy. You know, you see him again starting to throw some combinations. Throws the right hook, left straight. Needs to get that right back to his chin, though. I mean, when you have an opponent like Gibson who's not really countering, it's not as important, but you got to develop good habits even as a young guy. You see him.
Wow. Camara is connecting. And Gibson is shaking his head.
Tough, dude.
Gibson has all sorts of fire in him, doesn't he?
Yes.
Is it going to be enough to survive even the second round?
Biting down on that mouthpiece and swinging heavy. Camara lands another right hand. Ate a little bit of a right hand there from Gibson, though, did Camara. 10 seconds in the second round. Can you see Camara doing a good job? Nice knee.
Knee to the body, about ended it.
You got to watch throwing his punches to back.
Buzzer beater at the end of the second round.
It.
Camara wins at the buzzer via technical knockout.
Wow, you turned it on, started throwing those knees. Rob Mooney ended it. I think that a lot of people were expecting this fight to end in the second round, or make it to the third round. Camara said, "No, I'm tired, man. I'm going to stop him. This fight's over." Good performance though by Camara. If he can strike like that and stay on his feet, use that whizzer, those underhooks, and he's a very, very tall guy for the weight class, he's going to be one to watch. Jason Weinel going to have the official result here. Zakariah Camara 1-0 now on his career. Both of these guys, though, super tough. Watch out for them down the line.
No, Gibson showed all sorts of heart in that fight.
And that's a tough first fight. A guy from a well-known gym who strikes like that is 19 years old as well. I mean, I don't think that Camara should be. I think hopefully see him back in there sooner rather than later. I mean, he's another young guy, and you saw had a lot of heart.
Yeah, Gibson sure did have a lot of heart. And what are the prospects for a guy like Camara? When do you think, if you're his coach, when do you schedule his next fight?
A young guy like that, you see, I mean, he was pretty polished in striking, didn't seem to take a lot of damage. As soon as they find him another name to go on the side of the fight card, I think within a month or two.
We didn't get to see much of him on the ground.